I'm visiting the Museum of the American Railroad today in Frisco, Texas. They have a 4018 big boy steam engine.
This all used to be a part of the state fair. Basically moved to Frisco because we could go from less than 2 to 14 acres of land. And you know, the Walmart delivery drones flying over kids. Because we're not quite ready to be where we want to be with construction. Probably continue up on this concrete after this is go down our concrete, the black one up in the front, the bald one, and then we have a blue and yellow CF7 by the big boy and a little, we have 2 Fairbanks H1244s. When I get the one that's in the Southern Pacific. This is our second largest piece of rolling stock out here, built in 1942 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works. It's early 1940s Alco RSD1, and many rail historians, and from my reading, too. This side is a little better condition because it gets more shade compared to the other side, but we're hoping to get it, in our shop. Gotta get some of that dirt out of here or moved so we can get parking in the front corner. This is long, 5,000 pounds or so, and just the end result of Union Pacific Railroad was wanting 15,000 horsepower to pull their freight trains, and so it started kind of a quest in the 60s of double locomotives with 2 prime movers. So you have 2 16-cylinder 3,300 horsepower locomotives smashed into one nearly 100-foot frame for 6,600 horsepower. These are old refrigerator ice reefers from the Fort Worth stockyards. It's Cotton Belt Railroad, 1928, but I like to say it's very 1888, design. It's old wood drover style caboose, but this one's got the passenger seats in the front, but we're all the brakeman of the ride.
I'm visiting the Museum of the American Railroad today in Frisco, Texas. They have a 4018 big boy steam engine and lots of other interesting engines out here. Diesels and passenger cars and everything, and they are in the process of building a first-class museum here. Need a lot of donations and all to get it done.
Started, had an Eagle Scout redo the cab, so they'll go back and shoot another couple of coats on a warm, dry, still day. Most of the departments they're sitting there. Take care. Well, just trying to do the cosmetic restoration on it. Watch y'all step it, just push that door right there and go on in our 1925 sleeper car.
And you do it.
This was in a 2-story garage behind his house. He had an elevator right where this control panel is. That was his office back here. So we had to cut things small enough to get him out of the room. The big mountains, the guys didn't want to cut because they don't go back together easily. So we cut a hole in the upstairs wall. This 2-story car. We knew we wanted to set a front end on there. Took us a year to put everything back together. Finished and everything here on my way to work. And I pull into that little 2-pump Texaco station, and it was full service. He was a Boy Scout, and when he was about 12, he took the train down there that Texas Zephyr would go to Colorado all the time. He gave him a photo of where he was, where he went. You can't see the camp, but this is it. Everything had to be authentic. An actual logging camp that wasn't far from his Boy Scout camp. These two loggers came in one day and they said, "This is how this works. We're all loggers from Oregon." And they proceeded to tell me how to run a logging camp. This is a town in Colorado, maybe Cripple Creek. This is New Mexico back here. Come on, I'll show you real fast. And I'll turn on the train. This is Cimarron, New Mexico. This is where Philmont Boy Scout Ranch is located. He took the train when he was about 16 from Dallas, got off at that little city station, and became an Eagle Scout. This was a big deal. He'd never been to the Southwest. This is Arizona. That's a copper mine near Bisbee, Arizona. He had part interest in this copper mine. He traded in gold and silver and metals. And he'd go out there and check on business. This was a big rail yard that was near the mine, bringing, supplies in and taking the copper out. This is West Texas. This is Amarillo, Texas here. They would drive out to Amarillo, use it as a base, go check on their oil and gas business down the road, and have a hamburger at that Galaxy Drive-In. All this is real. One lady told me she was the assistant manager at the Paramount Theater 40 years ago down in downtown Amarillo. This is the Caladuro Canyon. You see the name on the theater? This is the second largest canyon in the United States, and it's here in Amarillo. You can drive into this thing, you can climb Lighthouse Rock. It's just gorgeous. And this was a real theater, about 3 miles outside of Amarillo. It's got a real projector in it, and we're playing movies. We play different movies all the time. You found all these old speakers. Y'all are too young to remember going to the drive-in when you had to use these, but he and I remember. And you had to hang that on your window and then head on out. So he found all these old speakers. That's a ranch in Corsicana, south of here, about 45 miles. They moved there in the late 90s, started raising miniature horses. This was property on a lake down there. Had that barn built there on the left in 2000. Half of the barn was stable for the horses. The other half was empty, and he wanted a train layout built. That's where all this started.
That's all for this trip.